I need 30 seconds to prove to you why the current school system globally is actually broken. Siri, what is the capital city of Brazil? Check this out. It's Brasilia. The area is 5,802 square kilometers and the population is roughly 3 million people. Now, the fact that I could do this on my phone means that the geography classes that we had to attend, where you have to remember information, regurgitate it, and give it back to the teacher in the form of a test, is outdated. I can just push Siri, help me, and it gives me that information on hand. On today's episode, we're going to go and dive into the 10 reasons why we feel the system is broken and how it can improve to nurture free thinkers and people that can actually make decisions and adapt in the fast-moving world. Next to me, as always, Annemarie. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Currently, the system focuses on punctuality, discipline, sobriety, standardized learning material and testing. And this is just no longer sufficient for what our students need in the modern workplace. Now, I know we've got 10 things that we want to name. And out of those 10 problems that we can see, it's just the focus on the standardized testing system. That is my first point that I need to make. Because it's a standard test that we see, the students get that same thing and it's year on, and they just try and pass on year by year. But that's not what our kids need.
So, as an entrepreneur and someone that's been involved in business and speaking to other business leaders and thought leaders, the most valued skill today is creativity, critical thinking, problem-solving skills, teamwork, adaptability, and technological proficiency. Now, I've got a favorite saying, and that is, technology is the fastest it's ever been.
And growing.
And it will never be this slow again. So that means unless you keep up with the times and what's currently happening and what's currently important, and having, my dad always says, that ability to see around the corner, you're going to fall behind and it's going to be difficult to compete in a global market. But let's get into the 10 reasons why the modern school system is failing.
Well, as I mentioned, my first one will be the standardized testing. Because what we need to encourage kids to get to the critical thinking part and thinking out of the box. That would be my number one.
100%. The one-size-fits-all approach. We recently did a masterclass of Sir Richard Branson, and that's, in my opinion, one of the most brilliant business minds to ever come, in our generation. And he was dyslexic, so he had to adapt and learn how to learn. So, the school system failed him because they didn't teach him the right way that is a fit for him. You have very analytical kids, you have very creative kids, you have kids that love sport, you have kids that are a mixture between the two. Now we've got a one-size-fits-all. So that's the second point.
And to me, that then runs into the heavy workload on kids.
Yes.
Because it's an extreme workload. And that just ends up in anxiety and stress to our kids. And that's exactly what happened to him eventually.
Number 4, the lack of diversity just reinforces stereotypes. The fact that you can, right now, if you have the money, go to the airport, get a visa and go to a country like the Middle East, where the culture, everything is different. The fact that you can do that means we need to be more open-minded and more open to learning other people's cultures at school level, not at business level. Now you're already working, you're trying to figure out, how am I going to communicate with this person? Early on, we need to learn about each other's culture, because we live in a world that's like, the furthest place away is probably a couple of hours, 18 hour flight. True. And you're anywhere in the world.
Okay, then on number 5, and this is something that I've got a problem with, is the fact that they test you on grades and test and it's only the people that get attention that's the one with the A pluses. But what about the ones that really struggle? We're busy with our book and we've seen it on a daily basis.
The lack of emphasis on communication skills and conflict resolution abilities. I don't know, probably top 3 skills that a person has to develop in their life, and that's knowing how to handle conflict. It's something that everybody struggles with. It's something that I've struggled with my entire life. You know, there's a lot of great books that you can read. Crucial Conversations is one of them that you can read and you know, gather the emotional intelligence on how to do proper conflict resolution, and that needs to be taught in school very early.
No, they don't do it there. And then the lack of opportunities on a project-based learning, because they don't have that, and that is something that our school system desperately needs.
100%. Pressing global issues, the lack of emphasis on environmental education. You know, there is no discussions around, you know, how are we going to compete against China in manufacturing? Because there was no discussions in the school system, nobody ended up competing with them, and they took over the market. There's no discussions around what can we do to become better at this, which is a similar climate to us. For example, go and look at a country that produces more wheat than us. So there is no global issue education in the current system. It's just non-existent.
No, it's non-existent. I agree. Then on number 9, the lack of support to our children with disabilities. And that's a major thing. And you mentioned dyslexia before, and that is something that falls apart in our current school system where that doesn't get noticed.
100%. And 10, the lack of opportunity to collaborate. So you finish school, you go study, or you go into the workforce. You don't know what it means to actually be on a team. That's why I love hiring people that have played some sort of a sport, organized sport, because you know you've got your part of the value chain that you bring. For example, if you're, I love playing soccer. So I was a right wing. So I know my job is kick the ball, you know, the midfield would kick the ball to the flag, and I need to cross. So I'm good with the right foot. I need to cross up high. My attackers were tall, so we used to score with a header. That's my job. My job is not to score. If I score a goal, I'm like, you know, I'm excited, but it's not my job. I need to cross the ball in. The tall player needs to header the ball. Boom, we score a goal. We win the championship. The fact that kids don't ever interact in a team at school is a problem, because they come out and they don't know who's who in the zoo. They don't know how they fit into a company, into a culture, because it's not taught.
Definitely. Full on agree with you.
Can we change the current schooling system? No, we can't. What we can do is what we can control and what we can empower our kids to do. So take every single available minute that you have and expose your children to current affairs, expose your children to teamwork, expose your children to the ability to debate, you know, around the table, have an opposing opinion. I don't agree with this. Why? Boom, boom, back and forth. It develops a type of a skill that is so valued in a company, in a modern company, to be able to think for yourself and question, respectfully, but question. Why have we done something this way for 5 years? Can we not adjust it and adapt to the new way? Perhaps bring a little bit of technology to increase the speed. Every single moment that you have with your children, teach them those skills. I call them soft skills that the school system doesn't teach them. Doing enough of that, stimulating the creativity, the conflict resolution, the ability to learn new skills, will eventually develop them into free thinking contributors to society. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave us a comment as well as hit the like button, and
please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell.
Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.